And now we move to the United States, where California is the first state in the U.S. to put in place a coronavirus lockdown and is now turning a page on the pandemic. California lifted most of its COVID-19 restrictions and ushered in what has been billed as the state's grand reopening.
There were no more state rules on social distancing and no more limits on capacity at restaurants, bars, supermarkets, gyms, stadiums, or anywhere else. And masks, one of the most symbolic and proud symbols of the pandemic, will no longer be mandated for vaccinated people in most settings. Tough business and countries can still require them. Just in time for summer, California wants to send the message that life in Golden State is getting much closer to normal.
But the no mask, it's great. It's great. It was very hard yesterday walking in the park with the mask on. You're sweating, you can't breathe. We couldn't take it off. As you're walking, you can't even take it off. So this is nice to be able to, and I'm vaccinated, so
I'm really excited. It's a fun time finally to be able to go somewhat back to normal with this past year being very difficult. It's just like, be prepared, be wearing sanitizing when you can, just be distanced, and I'm just really excited to actually go back to somewhat normal.
Yeah.
The economy is fully reopened for the first time in 15 months and people can largely return to pre-pandemic lifestyles. Disneyland is throwing its doors open to all tourists after allowing these California residents since it opened in April. Tourism was among the hardest hit industries during the pandemic and now wants to make up for lost time. California now has one of the lowest rates of infections in the country, below 1%.
We shut down first. We were criticized for shutting down first. And now we're being praised as one of the densest cities in the country, having one of the lowest infection rates, one of the lowest death rates, and over 80% of residents of San Francisco have been vaccinated. It's an incredible accomplishment.
The dramatic drop in infections combined with an increasing number of vaccinated residents, over 70% of adults have had at least one dose, led Governor Gavin Newsom to announce in April that most COVID-19 restrictions would be lifted June 15. The reopening doesn't necessarily mean people will immediately flock to places and events they once back or that business will opt to return to full capacity immediately.